This video is going to be looking at DB Browser. This is in relation to the algorithms app that I have been building, but I'm actually going to be looking at how we're going to create the database, and I thought now would be a good opportunity to actually look at DB Browser. So you may or may not have used this before. I'm just going to do a quick skim through so that people that haven't used it before know how to use it. And the way I'm going to start by doing this is I'm going to start completely with a new database. As you can see, I've given mine the name algorithms already, so I'm just going to make this algorithms test so that I can make sure it's a different one. And in fact, I have started a new algorithms folder, so I can actually just make this algorithms. When I save it, it's automatically going to save it as a .db file type. And there's a few different options. Now, this is automatically going to give me the option to start building my first table. I'm going to do this for the first one, and then I'm actually going to perhaps look at how to do Excel. I might do that in another video. But for now, so my table name, this is going to be GCSE questions. And I now need to start adding some fields in. So the first field, this is essentially our column title. So these are the different items that need to be within our column. And the things that I'm going to have is I'm going to have question ID. I'm just going to call this ID. This is going to be an integer. It's also going to be my primary key, and I'm also going to get that to auto increment. So the idea is I'll have question 1 will be ID 1, 2, 3, and so on. I'm also going to have the actual question. So I can just put this as Q, and that's going to be the column. And I can put this as a text. Now this isn't necessarily going to be the primary key. It'd be a little bit inefficient just because of how long this could potentially be. And it's also not going to auto increment. The next thing that I want to do is image, and this is where I'm going to paste the name of the image file that I'm going to be using. Again, this is going to be a text. This could also technically be our primary key, but I'm going to stick with the ID for this one. Okay, I don't think there's any other fields I need right now. I just need to have the question and the image for the answer. Okay, I'm just going to press OK then. As we can see now, if I actually go in, I've only got one table at the moment. This one is just like a preset one, and I've got here. I want to now start adding items in. Now I can actually import a file straight from Excel, and I will cover that in another video. At the moment, I'm just going to actually manually add some things in here. So I just click on New Record. It's really important not to start typing in here, which is tempted to. You can see my ID is auto incremented. Just now I need to come over here. So my question might be, create an algorithm that takes two numbers and adds them together, display the output, or the sum of the two numbers. That might just be my question. And my image, I might have it saved in my database as GCSE1, and it might be a PNG image. This will make more sense when we actually start building the code what I'm referring to. And then I create another new record, and as you can see, so we'll put insert question here. I'm not going to build the whole database from scratch because I actually want to, I've already done this, so just a little point here, as you may notice, I didn't insert question here. I didn't click apply, so it didn't override that, which is really frustrating. It's just a little point to point out because I sometimes do forget and I'm going to apply. What I really now need to do, and this is so important, is I'm going to write changes. This is just going to update anything I've just added into my database to the file, okay? So that if you sometimes are running your program and it's saying it doesn't recognize something, it's just because you haven't written the changes. Just going to show you now if I want to create another table for my databases, I'm going to come here and then go back to create table, and this one might be called A-Q. And then I can do the same thing again. So I can set ID as an integer, primary key, auto incrementing. I might have the actual question itself, which is going to be a text. And I've just realised what I'm missing from the other field, but that's fine because it's a good chance to show you how to make changes when you've already set your table up. I also am going to include the image for the answer. And this, of course, is going to be a text as well. Now I'm going to, in this one, add my mark, which is the maximum marks that it can be, and that is going to be an integer. I'm then going to create this. Now, this one doesn't obviously have that mark. As we can see, I've only got ID, question and image. So I'm now going to come in and click Modify Table. This has said that it wants me to save all pending changes, so I've done that. And from here I can now add in that extra field that I was missing off a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to make that an integer. So that's just really basics into creating our database. Now, if you're completely new to using this, and also for testing purposes, this is a really good place to start looking at your SQL commands. So what I might do, in fact, is bring back, if I go into GCSEs, I'm going to go into Browse Data, I'm going to add a mark in here. I'm going to say that this one is 2, and this is going to be a maximum mark of 3. I'm going to write these changes. And I'm going to do a simple search, which is going to bring me back the question and the mark where the ID is equal to 2. So I'm going to select Q and mark. Now I was a bit quick with my typing there, but actually if I give it time, it will show me what my available options are. And I'm writing this in lowercase, but it's automatically, if I click tab, giving me the option. So select from, I need to say which table I want to collect it from, and this is going to be GCSE. And you can see, if you just pause a second, it'll give you your options. GCSE where ID is equal to 1. Okay. We can see it's bringing me back the 2 fields, a question and mark. If I wanted to, for example, bring back all the data, I would just select star. I will at some point do a separate video on SQL, but that is something that unfortunately I will assume that you understand some basics of, but I will actually talk you through all the SQL commands that I'll be doing as I'll be coding them. This will bring us back all that information that we need. So I'm going to just quickly show you, as I said, I didn't fully pad out my A-level questions in the one that I've built, just for time purposes, so that I could get this documented to help my own students who are in the middle of designing their projects. But I have put some more in my own database around GCSE questions. So this is just briefly, as I say, covering this database, and then it's really important, obviously, that we just make sure that we've got this saved. So I'm just going to save my project, make sure that obviously it's in my algorithms app. I'm just going to make sure that it's the most up-to-date version. I could have just written changes, so I've already done that. And this allows me now to go ahead and actually start using my program and start putting the code together. The next video is going to look at building the base code for the user interface and actually putting some of this functionality in.